Good morning. My name is Erin Sigrana, and in today's video, we'll be creating a simple introductory card using React.js, which is a JavaScript framework. We have been asked to simply create a React app that creates a component introduction. Okay, so the name of the component should be introduction. In and use it in app.js. So app.js is the main component of our whole React project. Uh, to print the introduction of 5 students using the props. So the props are like properties that we pass down to the to a component or the elements within a component. So it is asking us to that introduction should have an image, a name, a age, and the course. We have to create at least 5 introductory card of on at least 5 students. So the code for this is pretty simple. So let's start from the basics. For us to create a basic, for us to start a basic React.js folder, we first initialize the folder using the command which is npx create react app, and then we simply add file name. Now, there are two things to keep in mind. Now, first, NPX and NPM. There is a difference between both of them. Now, when we create a React project using the NPM, then it downloads each and every dependencies that we won't even use. But when we do NPX, it limits the downloads of the dependencies, and whenever we need some resources for development purposes, then it directly takes it from the server, and it helps basically it helps us keep the React folder uh, to a bit minimum size instead of downloading each and every resources from the server. So that's why npx is the best option. But yeah, remember that while developing using the npx created React project, there should be an active internet connection. So this is the basic syntax for creating a file. I used it to create this file over here. As you can see that this is the file which is named as React app assignment. So when we create our first React project, it includes all these files as you can see over here. It includes node modules, public, src, which is the abbreviation for source, git ignore, package log.json, packet.json. Now this packet.json is where each and every dependencies version and everything other related to the dependencies is mentioned over here. Now coming to the SRC, there are several files that you will see in the SRC folder, but the main folder that we need to work upon is the app.js folder, because whatever elements that are included in this in this file is what we see in our final product. So app.js is a component. Now coming to the component are like functions that returns the elements that are inside of it. Now, as you can see that this is the basic syntax for a component. Let me just show you a very basic syntax. As you can see, this is the very basic syntax for a component, which you can see that it imports React from React and it export.default. So this export.default makes this the resources of this component available throughout the folder. And this return command, as you can see this over here, is what returns the element that are contained inside of it. Now there is an exception that a component can only return a single element or a single tag. So to overcome this, what we do is that we create a parent tag and then include multiple tags within it. And so when we return a single tag, it would include multiple tags or multiple elements as its child. And that's how we overcome the problem of returning a single tag from a component. So after, because as you can see, let's see, as you can see that there is a single tag being returned. Now, if I create another tag, for example, let's create an empty tag, it would show me an error because it would say that JS expression must have one parent element. As you can see that it can only return one parent element, or in other terms, it can only return one tag. So what we can do that is we can take whatever element we need to return from the component and put it inside a single parent tag, and it would not give us any error. As you can see that it won't give us any error. So this is how a basic component works. Now, for our project, it was mentioned that I should create a introduction component. So what I did, I created a new JSX file with the name introduction. Now, I also forgot to mention that each and every tag name should always begin with a small letter and should not contain any capital letter, because as you know from the previous HTML rules, that if a tag name is capital letter, even then it won't give us any error and it would give us the output. But in case of React, we are strictly prohibited to give the tag name or start the tag name with a capital letter, because because the React considers the tag starting with the capital letter as a component, not a tag. So that's why there is a restriction in the naming of the tags. As you can see that first, let me go go through the introduction component that I just created. So as you can see that this is the introduction component within my source file. And as you can see that this is the very basic component. I am returning a parent div tag, and within the parent div tag, we were asked to include four things. As we can see that, yes, four things: image, name, and age, and course. So as you can see that I have created four tags within my parent div tag, which is image, H1 is name, H2 is age, and H3 is course. Now, we were also asked to pass props inside our whole component. Now, how props are being passed? As we are familiar with the basic concept of functions, in functions, when we uh, when we give a function its name, and there is a parenthesis within which we can mention parameters. Now that parameter in in the React framework is known as prop. So this parameter is known as prop, and it is a object, JavaScript object, which contains information that we pass. As you can see that because it is a object, then what we can do is that we know that object are a collection of keys and values. So to access the value, we need to use the key with the object name and dot operator. So as you can see that it is there is the dot operator, that sorry there is the object name, then dot operator, and then keys name, which is image address, name, age, and course. Now the image address, as you can see that for us to pass multiple values from the prop, we need to escape into JS, and we escape into JS within the JSX using these curly brackets. Now, any command or any JS command can be written within these curly braces, not outside of these curly braces. That's why it is said when we use these curly braces, we escape from JSX and get into the JS to write JS commands. So these curly braces are really important to pass any kind of JS command. So that's why, as I told you, these props are JS objects or JavaScript objects. So to access the keys or to access the values that are paired with their respective keys, we need to access those keys using the JS command. That's why we are using these curly braces and then a basic JS command to access the value through the object name plus dot operator plus their respective keys value. Now we are familiar with the H1, H3, and H2 tag, which these tag do, and as well as the image tag as well. As you know that the SRC is which it would take its source from the prop. Now coming to the CSS part of this component, what I did, I created another file which is introduction.css, and these are the following CSS formatting that we have to apply. Sorry, not we have to apply. It is not mentioned in the document that we need to apply CSS, but it is just a cherry on the cake thing that I did just to make it look more appealing. It is not compulsory to apply CSS in the introduction component because it is a very basic project. But as you can see that I have applied CSS, and in which, as you can see that I have applied in the parent div tag. As you can see that I created a parent div tag with the class name parent. So so whatever formatting is being applied in it, I would apply in this in the child and the div tag itself. So first part I did to give the gap from the above and the middle sorry to give the gap in between the element and the topmost line of the web page. I first included margin 20 pixels. So what it would do, it would increase the margin value from all four sides, which is right, left, top, and bottom. So after that, I created a border of 5 pixel and solid pattern with color 21212. Let's make it 21212. Okay. After that, I made the corners of my div tag rounded using the border radius of 20 pixel and gave the border a shadow using the box shadow, and these are the units. So it would shift it towards right 10 by 10 pixel and towards bottom by 10 pixel, and this is the blur level with the color of the blur being black. This is the fixed size of height and width of my div box, which will be of 500 pixel in height and 400 pixel in width. After that, I applied display flags. Now what it would do, it would convert the its parent, sorry, its child elements, which would be as I told you, the div tags child element currently are image h1, h2, and h3. So it would apply the block level formatting to all the child. So what it would do that it would the each and every child of these parent command would not take the whole line a whole line as the output, but it would reduce its size to whatever the content size is. So that's why I use display flags over here. Now align item would align the item horizontally in the center because there is a center command. Now justify content would align the item uh, horizontally, and for align item it's vertically. So justify content would align all the items centrally in the center, and flex direction column, it would as you can see that flex direction column, I am using this to make each and every child element appear in a column, not side by side, because as I told you, if I do display flex in this, then it would make each and every element size according to its the content size itself, and each and every other content would appear right next to each other. So that's why I used flex direction column over here, so that each and every element takes its own particular line and appear in a column. So after that, I did some formatting on the image. As you can see that I fixed its height and made it a circle, because height, if my height and width are of equal magnitude, and I used a border radius above 100 or above 50, then it would make a complete perfect circle. I gave it the picture a bit of shadow as well. As you can see that the shadow won't move from its position, so it would appear from the image itself, and it won't be shifted towards left, right, top or bottom, because both the values over here are 0, and the blur level would be 30 pixel with the blur color being gray. After that, there's a bit of formatting in the h1, h2, and h3 tab. Now how I applied my CSS is through by importing my CSS file over in my introduction component. As you can see that import, this is my address, dot forward slash means dot slash means in the current folder introduction.css, and all the formatting would be applied to it. Now comes the main part, using the component introduction that I just created in my app.js, where which is the main component which we see in the end result of our whole code. Now, I forgot to mention that I have also downloaded mm, the images of my fellow classmates and I have placed them in the material folder within the source file. As you can see that these are the 6 students that I have used their images for the introductory card. Now, as you can see that first, I imported my introduction component using this command, which is import introduction from this location. After that, I imported 6 of these images that I placed inside the material folder. So as you can see that I used their respective name as the variable that would be holding that folder or that image. and their respective addresses. After that, the main function, I created the empty tags. As you can see that these are the empty tags within which I am using the component, and I'm returning the empty tag as a parent tag over here. Now, as you can see that I used a div uh, tag with the class name body for three components over here only. I'll explain you why in a bit later. I'm explaining currently I'm explaining how I'm using the introduction component and passing props in it. So as you can see that this is the introduction component. This is the starting of the tag, and this is the ending of the first tag or component. So as you can see that these are the props that I am passing. So image address is equal to Abhijit, the variable that is holding the address or the file of the photo or the picture would be passed as the prop for the this particular component, and name would be name is equal to Abhijit Khokar. Now this Abhijit Khokar would be passed as a prop to for the introduction this particular introduction component, and similarly with age and similarly with course. Now what would happen is that it when we go inside the introduction dot .jsx, which is our component in which we are passing all these props, you can see that the image address would get replaced by this value. The intro the name Abhijit Khokar would get replaced by intro dot name, because when we pass name is equal to Abhijit Khokar, then the prop object will hold name as the key, and a value would be Abhijit Khokar. So that's why intro dot name, as I explained it before. Similarly for age and similarly for the course. That's how I implemented three components, a component six times, as three pair or two three pairs. What I mean by pair is that I created a div tag, and with the class body, two div tag with the class bodies, and each of those two div tags contains three component. Why I did that is to make the content look more appealing. What I mean by that is that whenever we go to app.css, what I did, as you can see that I simply applied the CSS formatting at the whatever tag that is having the class body, and as you can see that it will apply display flags on its child nodes. And as you can see that the body div tag contains both of the body div tag contains three components as its child node. So it would make each and every component into block level component. So what we are going to do is that after that I use justify content to space around to make those look sorry, to make them space equally horizontally. So after that the reason for me doing creating two separate div tags and containing three in each is that because if I contain all these six intro components within a single div tag, then each and every card would appear right next to each other, and it would squish them all of them together, and that is not what I want. So that's why I use two div tag which contains three in components each to make it look appealing and not squishing into each other. So let me just start my React project. Just a second. It's taking a bit of time. It's now loading. Just a second. I guess the internet connection is a bit slow. Yes, as you can see that these are the introductory cards, and these are the image formatting. As you can see that I told you about the formatting. This is the shadow for the picture. This is the box shadow for the whole div tag, and the formatting for each H1, H2, and H3 tags. Now, as you can see that these are each div tag contains three components. So these whole three components are within one div tag, and the other three components are within other div tag. because if I created all of them in a one, let me just show you what I am trying to explain. I will simply remove that now. Uh, all six components are within one single div tag. So what is going to happen, as you can see that it is going to squish all six of them into each other. And as you can see that the first card isn't even showing up. So that is the main reason for creating two div tags, just to space them around. As you can see that now it is looking pretty nice and not squishing into each other. Well, that's all for this basic React project, which was on introductory card. That's all, and thank you for watching.